Near-future Moscow. Oleg and Alyona are on a date. Oleg tells her he's a soldier on a 2-week break. The date goes very well, and they end up spending the night together. Meanwhile, in Paris, a plane is about to land when suddenly all the lights go out, and everyone on board loses consciousness. Soon, this power loss spreads across the world, leaving only a small part of Eastern Europe with electricity. Oleg and Alyona notice the drones hovering over Moscow stop in midair. They run to the hotel lobby to see what's happening. Everyone in the building gathers there to hear the news. The presenter explains that this wasn't caused by a natural disaster. Although a terrorist attack was initially suspected, they realized they had lost contact with the rest of the world. A group of soldiers led by Major Dolmatov is sent on a reconnaissance mission. Journalist Olga goes with them to document any clues. The government had already sent drones to the area, but none returned. Exploring the city, the troop discovers that all citizens are dead, even the fish in fish tanks. There are no signs of attack. The soldiers explore apartments, and everything seems to be in place, as if people had disappeared in an instant. Suddenly, a soldier is attacked by a mysterious creature. The rest of the team rushes to help, but the creature escapes with the soldier's weapon. They take him to the plane and ask if he saw the attacker, but he couldn't see anything due to the darkness. 1 month later, over 100 million Russians are declared dead. The government calls for calm, but many religious groups believe the end of the world is near. Yura, a civilian living with his mother, who suffers from Alzheimer's, receives a letter to join the army. Finding it difficult to leave his mother, he decides to enlist. Arriving at the base, he realizes that the world is in ruins. Yura joins Oleg's team, who are briefed on the situation by Dolmatov and Colonel Marina. The cities in darkness are under quarantine, and there's only power in Moscow and some parts of Belarus, Ukraine, and Finland. New reconnaissance missions are sent to investigate the causes of the tragedy. Moscow is running out of resources, and collecting supplies is crucial. Many troops have already been sent, but most haven't returned. Not even tanks protected them. As they prepare, more volunteers arrive, and Oleg is surprised to see Alyona among them. Suddenly, an imminent attack alarm sounds. A group of strange creatures approaches the base, and when they are close enough, the soldiers open fire. Oleg loses consciousness during the battle. The next day, he wakes up under the weight of a huge dead bear. Yura helps him move, and they both see dozens of dead bears on the border. No one understands why they attack like that. Olga is recording everything for the news. Oleg is taken to the infirmary, where he discovers that Alyona is a medic. She takes care of him and comforts him with a kiss. Meanwhile, Dolmatov and Marina discuss the censors, people who gained powers after the blackout. Sasha, the strongest censor, has nightmares about a mysterious man. Today, a man named Zhenya visits him. Zhenya explains that 3 waves of destruction have already begun, and the 3rd will cause the survivors in the quarantine zone to lose their will. Sasha doesn't believe what Zhenya tells him and calls security, but the soldiers can't see Zhenya and think Sasha is hallucinating. Meanwhile, the soldiers prepare for their mission. Yura travels with Olga, who asks him questions for the camera. Yura says he doesn't care about the situation because it gives his life purpose, better than being a taxi driver. Arriving at the quarantine zone, they see destroyed tanks and a giant crack, indicating that the 3rd wave has begun. This causes panic among the population. The government assures them they are working on a solution, but people believe they are hiding something. The soldiers divide into groups to explore more terrain. Yura and Olga, who are in Group 7, feel a flirty tension between them. Oleg joins Group 4, who are investigating a small town. A soldier is injured while opening a warehouse, and metal bars fall on him. They decide to rest in a house until a medic arrives. The next day, Alyona arrives to take the injured man to Moscow. Yura and Olga's group also spends the night in an apartment. While having breakfast, Yura notices something strange in a store. He checks Olga's recording and confirms that the doors were not open when they arrived. Yura and some soldiers enter the store and find evidence that someone was there, so they decide to set some traps. Then they return to the apartment and wait for the traps to activate, which doesn't happen until dusk. Everyone prepares to leave, but Yura asks Olga to stay inside and teaches her to use flares to call for help if they don't return. Olga disobeys Yura and follows the team to record everything. In the store, they find a teenager injured by the traps. They take him to the apartment to help him, but the boy reacts by stealing a knife and killing a soldier. The others immediately shoot him dead. Meanwhile, Sasha goes to the hospital roof for fresh air and meets Ed, the man Zhenya had talked about. Zhenya was just a mental connection, but Ed is actually there and wants Sasha to help him. To convince him, Ed shows his face and reveals that he is not human. Marina appears with soldiers who point their weapons at Ide, but suddenly everyone turns their weapons towards Marina. Ide explains that he used his mental powers to make the soldiers see Marina as him and him as Marina. Then he warns that millions like him are coming to destroy humanity. Ade assures Marina he is on her side, but says humanity doesn't have much time. He explains that he needs Earth because his star is dying. He also reveals that humans were sent to Earth thousands of years ago as a biological weapon to destroy their advanced civilization. Humans were designed without psychic powers, but the radiation from the Blackout is restoring these abilities in some, like Sasha. Meanwhile, troops begin to be attacked by mentally controlled humans, and the soldiers have difficulty defending themselves due to the large number of attackers. In the apartment, Yura's group is attacked, and Yura asks Olga to fire the flare. However, many other troops are also calling for help, complicating the situation. The few remaining members of the group decide to take refuge on the building's roof to avoid being hit by the attackers. Marina's conversation with Ede is interrupted by news of the attack, and Ede points out that they are losing time and decide to act. Along with Zhenya and Sasha, they fly to the base. During the flight, Ede explains to Sasha that he is immortal as long as they don't decide to kill him. Upon reaching the base, Ede puts Sasha in a trance and manages to draw the location of Ra, who is in a skyscraper in Kirov. Although Ede wants to mobilize the troops immediately, Dolmatov doubts if he can trust him, seeing his alien appearance. At that moment, they announce that Moscow is being attacked. Marina convinces Dolmatov that Ede is their only hope. Meanwhile, Yura's group decides to go down the building to look for the teams that did not send help signals. Yura and a terrified Olga decide to move cautiously in the streets. They find some civilians and kill them before interacting with them. Olga feels uncomfortable, but Yura reminds her that the teenager who killed the soldier also seemed normal at first. A new wave of controlled humans attacks the group, killing all the soldiers except Yura, who manages to defend himself. Although injured, they hide in a garage where they tend to his wound and find a car with gasoline ready to escape. At the base, Sasha confesses that he fears going because he believes Ra saw him during his vision. Ede allows him to stay for his safety while the troop mobilizes. Marina notices that Sasha is missing, but before they can stop, a series of rockets hit the base and destroy it. Marina points her weapon at Ide, furious that he knew what was going to happen, but Ade admits that without Sasha, the mission would not have been successful. Yura and Olga meet Oleg and Alyona the next day, with very few surviving members and almost no ammunition. Fortunately, Dolmatov's troop finds them, and they join the mission to kill Ra. They finally arrive there and are surprised not to be attacked immediately. Ede explains that Ra believes he died in the base explosion. The army advances towards the skyscraper, shooting and crushing any enemy that crosses their path. On the roof, Ede and some soldiers confront Ra. Yura tries to attack him, but Ra pushes him and leaves him hanging from the edge. Ede takes advantage of Ra's distraction to attack him, extracting a device from his body. Yura places a grenade in the spot, finally killing Ra. Aid releases the controlled humans and announces that the next step is to fight the aliens that are arriving. When Zhenya asks why he didn't warn about all this before the blackout, Eid simply says that he is the god humans deserve. Furious, Oleg tries to attack him. Yura defends him, arguing that Aid is their only hope against the impending alien invasion. This causes a fight between Yura and Oleg. When Olga realizes that Yura is brutally beating Oleg, she pulls out a weapon and shoots Yura to stop him. Oleg tries again to kill Aid, but he easily stops him. Oleg, in a moment of doubt, considers killing Yura, but instead shoots Eid. However, the bullets have no effect. Eid uses his mental powers to make Oleg see everyone as his father, causing Oleg to hesitate. Thanks to a sensor, Zhenya can identify the true Eid and lunges at him, tackling him to the ground. Both die on impact. At that moment, a gigantic alien ship lands on several buildings. Oleg takes the device that Eid had taken from Ra and decides not to kill Yura. The group, now consisting of Oleg, Olga, and Alyona, collects weapons from the fallen bodies and enters the ship, whose door opened, waiting for Ra. Inside, they find hundreds of aliens sleeping in capsules. Oleg uses the device, and this activates the oxygen transport to the capsules, indicating that Ra was supposed to wake them. The capsule timer confirms that the aliens will be ready soon. They try to shoot them and discover that they can kill them, but they don't have enough ammunition or time to finish them all. Olga realizes that the ducts transporting oxygen are on the floor, and that destroying one kills many aliens at once. The group begins to destroy all the ducts they find, managing to stop the invasion. However, when Alyona is about to destroy the last duct, she freezes when she sees that the remaining capsules contain alien children. The child creatures begin to emerge from the capsules, and seeing them, Oleg drops his weapon to the ground, unable to harm innocent beings.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.